Welcome back to the Adventures of Chris and Mike. In this episode, we're going to be visiting the historic Fort Meade Museum in Sturgis, South Dakota. Join us now as my good friend Chuck Rambo takes us on a tour of the historic Fort Meade Museum.
The old post was first commanded by Colonel Samuel D. Sturgis, who was a general during the Civil War. Sturgis's fame prior to the Civil War begins in 1857 when he's the captain of the 1st Dragoons, and he was attached to the command of a Colonel Sumner, a command of approximately 1,200 men, who in 1857 were going to engage the Cheyenne Indians. In 1855, General William Harney had engaged the Sioux Indians in what is known as the Sioux Expedition, and the Sioux had been pacified. This was the goal of Colonel Sumner in the Cheyenne Expedition. It seems that as Sumner and command are moving across the plains from Nebraska into Colorado, the Cheyenne start a vast herd of buffalo stampeding. And Colonel Sumner turned the command over to Sturgis since he had more experience on the plains. Sturgis formed his command of 1st Dragoons into a V formation, putting the entire command back of that V, ordered his troops to begin firing upon the buffalo, and they killed enough buffalo that the buffalo piled up immediately in front of them, split and went on either side, and for a period of 50 minutes, close to 60 minutes, the rampaging buffalo, running as hard as they could, came past them. You look back today and wonder how many buffalo it might actually have been. But Sturgis received a commendation for saving the entire command from a buffalo stampede. Approximately 3 weeks later, he engaged the Cheyenne at the Solomon River, though basically because of ignorance, he ordered a saber attack. Now, sabers typically after that would not be used against the Indians because the Indians were expert at hand-to-hand fighting. Custer, well, I should say Sturgis, didn't realize this. The Cheyenne Indians had the arrow renewal ceremony, the ceremony in which they used the 4 sacred arrows, which were received at Bear Butte, just 3 miles distant from us here. The arrow renewal ceremony which protected the Indians, the Cheyenne, from the soldiers' bullets. There are 2,000 Cheyenne lined up on the south side of the Solomon River. On the north side of the river, Sturgis ordered his 300 dragoons to a saber attack. And the Cheyenne, seeing the sabers flash in the sun, realized they're not made safe from sabers. They break, flee, taking their families with them, and Sturgis and Colonel Sumner won the camp of better than 2,000 Cheyenne, ending the, quote, Cheyenne threat. And so again, Sturgis is recognized as a bit of a hero. Because of the saber attack, the Cheyenne didn't fight. But the Cheyenne expedition was, in that sense, a total success. Sturgis did not have a very good record during the Civil War, and so when the 7th Cavalry are formed in 1866, and Sturgis comes in command in 1868, he becomes an armchair general, the armchair commander, and as lieutenant commander, Lieutenant Colonel Custer becomes the field commander for most military activities.
Stay tuned for more episodes of The Adventures of Chris and Mike as we continue our tour with Chuck Rambo at the historic Fort Meade Museum. And please subscribe to my channel.